Hi everyone, I am going to talk about the bacterium Streptococcus pneumoniae, which is responsible for causing the disease pneumonia. Let's see the introduction. It is commonly called as pneumococcus. It causes the disease pneumonia. This organism colonizes the respiratory tract, sinuses, and nasal cavity of healthy persons. It is an opportunistic pathogen. That means by nature it is a non-pathogen and it becomes pathogenic if the host immune status is low. This organism become pathogenic in susceptible individuals like immunocompromised, elderly, and small children, and it spread to other locations to cause the disease. It spreads by direct person to person contact via the respiratory droplets. Auto inoculation also cause neonatal infections, that means in newborn. First isolated by the US Army physician George Sternberg and the French chemist Louis Pasteur independently. And now we'll see the morphology. Regarding the morphology, it is a gram-positive diplococci and it is non-sporing, zero point 0.5 to 1.5 micrometer in diameter, and this is lancet shape and the presence of polysaccharide capsule. And now we'll see the cultural characteristics of this bacteria. It is a facultative anaerobe. The optimum temperature needed for its growth is 37 degree centigrade, and the pH range which is essential for its optimal growth will be the 7.4 to 7.8. The growth will be improved if we add 5 to 10% carbon dioxide, and it can grow well in enriched media. On blood agar, the colonies are small, zero point 0.5 to 1 millimeter in diameter, and it is dome shaped and glistening with an area of alpha hemolysis, that is partial. Also, it shows greenish discoloration. Crystal violet nalidixic acid gentamicin agar CVNG is highly selective for Streptococcus pneumoniae in sputum specimens. And next we'll see the biochemical characteristics. This organism shows negative result for catalase, negative for oxidase, negative for urease. It ferments sugar and produce only acid, and it shows positive result for bile solubility test, and it also shows the positive result for arginine dehydrolase, hyaluronidase, and neuraminidase. And next we'll see the serotypes. 93 different capsular serotypes are known. Some serotypes are found in young children such as 6B, 9B, 14, 19F, and 23F. Some serotypes such as 1 and 7F are more prominent in invasive diseases. And next we'll see the resistance. Streptococcus pneumoniae, it is resistant to beta-lactams, macrolides, lincosamides, fluoroquinolones, tetracyclines, and trimethoprim sulfamethoxazole. There has been a steady decline in the susceptibility of Streptococcus pneumoniae to the commonly used beta-lactams. Next, virulence factors. The capsular polysaccharides, which is present in this bacterium, it provides virulence by protecting this organism against phagocytosis. Next one is the pneumolysine. It is a membrane damaging toxin which has cytotoxic and complement activating activity. Next one is autolysin. This toxin, it also contributes virulence. And this organism also possesses hemolysin and leukocidin. And next we will see the pathogenesis. Streptococcus pneumoniae is normally found in the upper respiratory tract, that is nose and throat. Infection ranges from mild respiratory tract mucosal infections such as otitis media, that is inflammation of middle ear, and sinusitis, inflammation of sinus, to more severe infections like pneumonia that affects the lungs, septicemia, that is the bloodstream infection, blood poisoning, and meningitis, that is inflammation of the meninges. The bacteria enter the nasal cavity, then it attached to the nasopharyngeal epithelial cells, then it spread further to other organs like ears, sinuses, or via bronchi down to the lungs, then penetrate the mucosal barrier, enter the bloodstream to brain, and cause meningitis. It also causes pneumonia and meningitis in children, mostly children. Invasive pneumococcal diseases. So these are the list of the diseases which can spread through this pneumococcus. We will see the things. First one, bronchitis, that is inflammation of the bronchioles. Rhinitis, it is nothing but the stuffy nose. Acute sinusitis, inflammation of sinus. Otitis media, it is the infection of middle ear, that is air filled space behind the eardrum. Conjunctivitis, inflammation of the conjunctiva, that is in the eyes. Meningitis, it is the inflammation of the brain and spinal cord membrane. Sepsis, it is a life threatening complication of infection. Osteomyelitis, inflammation of bones in legs, arms, or spine. Septic arthritis, it is the inflammation of joints causing pain and stiffness. Endocarditis, it is the infection of the heart valve. Peritonitis, it is the inflammation of the peritoneum, that is in the abdomen. Then pericarditis, it is the swelling of the membrane of the heart, that is pericardium. Cellulitis, it is the serious skin infection. And the brain abscess, it is nothing but the pus forming infection in brain. And next we'll see the symptoms of pneumonia. Infection that cause inflammation, that is swelling of alveoli in one or both lungs filled with pus that leads to difficulty in breathing. The symptoms, common symptoms are fever and chills, cough, rapid breathing, difficulty in breathing, chest pain. Elderly may have confusion and low alertness. And next we'll see the symptoms of pneumococcal meningitis. Meningitis is the infection of tissue covering the brain and spinal cord. Common symptoms are stiff neck, fever, headache, confusion, and photophobia. It is nothing but the photophobia is nothing but the pain in eyes due to exposure to light. And next one is the sepsis. It is the bloodstream infection or blood poisoning. It is the response to an infection that leads to tissue damage, organ failure, and death. The common symptoms are confusion, shortness of breath, elevated heart rate, pain or discomfort, overperspiration, fever, and shivering. And next we'll see the lab diagnosis. First one is the microscopy. It is the direct examination of the sputum by gram staining. Since in this infection the sample will be the sputum sample, so it has to be taken, it should be collected, and then it has to be observed by gram staining procedure. And in that we can see the lanceolate shaped diplococci can be observed. Second one, culture technique. In this, the sputum sample, it has to be taken and it has to be plated in the specific media, blood agar, and we have to observe in the blood agar, we have to observe for the alpha hemolytic colonies with greenish discoloration. Third one is the bile solubility test. It is mainly used to differentiate the Streptococcus pneumoniae from other alpha hemolytic streptococci. For this, 1 ml of the overnight culture it has to be taken, and it should be added to 10% sodium deoxycholate solution, and which results in the clearance of the culture due to lysis of cocci. Fourth one, optosine sensitivity. In this test, the disc impregnated with optosine will be placed in the plate seeded with Streptococcus pneumoniae. Zone of inhibition will be noticed after incubation. Next one, Cullen reaction. Neufeld found out this capsule swelling procedure. For this procedure, we have to use the bacterial suspension, and it should be mixed with type specific antiserum and methylene blue solution. Then the result will be the appearance of the swelling of the capsule will occur. That is, before the addition of these reagents, antiserum and methylene blue, the capsule swelling is not observed. If it is positive, the swelling of the capsule will occur. This test can be done with sputum sample of the patients. Sixth one, serological diagnosis for the detection of pneumococcal antibodies. Seventh one, PCR test, polymerase chain reaction. Then seventh one, animal inoculation studies. Mice injected by intraperitoneal inoculation, that is with the infected sputum, and the fatal infection will occur within 48 hours. And next we will see the epidemiology. The infection will spread from person to person through droplets and aerosols. Nasopharyngeal colonization is a prerequisite for pneumococcal infection. It occurs in crowded environment. Small children and adults may have a higher carriage rate, and the fatality rate is also high. Treatment. Penicillin is the drug that is used for treatment. Use of pneumococcal vaccines in the childhood vaccination programs is already in use. Use of antibiotics like erythromycin, cephalosporins for pneumonia, chloramphenicol for meningitis, and quinolones. Use of polyvalent polysaccharide vaccine, that is having 23 capsular types of Streptococcus pneumoniae, can be used. Thank you.